I'm Patricia Barlow-Irick, and I train wild horses and I teach people how to train wild horses at Mustang Camp here in northern New Mexico. We've trained more than 600 Mustangs and burros for adoption. In 2021, I took on a student and found her a fresh Mustang with the intent of documenting our process. Maria is a statistician in Portland, Oregon. Her special needs rescue dog, June, introduced her to positive reinforcement based training, and she decided to learn to use these same methods with horses. The Jicarilla Ranger District had 3 recently captured horses in the Forest Service holding facility. The gray mare, they said, sweats if you even look at her. The others were calmer. I want the wild one, I said. We brought her home to meet the other animals at Mustang Camp. If you're just joining this story, we recommend starting at the beginning of our Belle Parker playlist. Click here to go there now. Good. What do we got to do next? What's the next step?
The next thing we need to do is doing a target with the frisbee and getting her to go in a 360 around me in the center of the pen. So I'm sticking the frisbee out and not really moving my feet, just rotating my body, and eventually trying to do the whole 360-degree circle. So today we started on task 5, which is using the target frisbee. We did not attach the frisbee to a guider stick. I guess I'm not exactly sure why we went that route.
Well, first of all, it's easier. It's less scary. You've got less things. When you've got that frisbee out there on that extension, you've got to kind of gradually introduce it. But once you get them playing with it, if you put the extension on it, then it's no big deal.
Got it.
But at first, it's just easier to not do that.
That makes
And
sense.
then it ends up not being super important to put it on a stick.
Makes sense.
And especially these horses that have been flagged with sticks and flags.
We don't want nothing to do with that.
We want nothing to do with that. We're not about that.
Got it. So I had the frisbee, and the first thing we did was both of us were sitting outside of the round pen. You were filming, and I was sitting there, and I put a stack of alfalfa just on the frisbee and put it in. And she pretty much immediately came up. She was a little bit questioning what we were sticking into her pen, but pretty much immediately ate that off. Once that was off, I presented it pretty just over the fence, being careful not to make weird noises on the side of the fence with the frisbee, and she immediately touched it. I rewarded her for it. I think the first touch she gave a little bit of a body tightening.
Yeah, she snorted.
But after that, she got the idea. I think we did a few rounds sitting, and then I stood up outside the round pen, presented it, and she touched it.
That wasn't even challenging to her.
No, she didn't seem to mind at all. And at that point, I moved into the round pen. Trying to remember which side I started on. I think I started out of her right eye.
I don't know.
I
I don't know, but I know that
video.
The dog and her had a little interaction. She was being weird about the dog, which she's usually not weird about the dog, but but she did jump away from you once. But it was, I saw the dog look at her and her look at the dog, and then she jumped.
Yeah. So neither the dog nor her like direct eye contact, apparently. They're 2 peas in a pod. But yeah, she was quickly moving into targeting with movement on both sides. So it was really encouraging. The only kind of challenge I had was, I think when I switched to the second side I was working on, she was trying to target my hand instead of the frisbee, and you recommended that I shift my body so that the frisbee was the thing closest to her opposed to my hand. you also mentioned that we've taught her to target my hand, so in a way she's, doing one of the behaviors she knows and testing it out. But she did really amazing. And also at the end, I put the target over her little black bucket. She came up, touched the target, I fed her, and then reached down, put food in the black bucket for her just at the end of the session. And I was encouraged by that big of a movement that she allowed and targeted to, plus, my downward motion into the black bucket without her getting scared.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it seems like she's really come around the corner. Even when she's running away, she's not running away in a panic.
No, and she's immediately
She's just
coming back.
Yeah, she's just like walking away and then going, oh no, I think I'll go back.
Yeah.
And not freaking out. So
yeah.
Hopefully we'll see less and less of that.
For sure.
What do we got to do next? What's the next step?
The next thing we need to do is doing a target with the frisbee and getting her to go in a 360 around me in the center of the pen. So I'm sticking the frisbee out and not really moving my feet, just rotating my body, and eventually trying to do the whole 360-degree circle.
Right. So it might be worth putting it on a stick for this. It might help her a little bit.
Okay.
But when you do that, you really got to think about keeping that frisbee as the easiest thing to access, because they will try over and over to target to the stick.
Mm-hmm.
They differentiate between the stick and the frisbee at first.
Yeah.
And so you really got to make it so they don't really have a choice. It's just easier to touch the frisbee. And so when you have it, you're going to have it at an angle from your body to her, so that the stick is the farthest thing away from the horse.
Yeah.
In that regard. Okay. Because that messes people up. Sometimes they want to hold the frisbee out where it's the farthest thing from the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Their body, their arm, their hand, everything else is closer.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't work. So you really want to have it where the horse is the closest to the frisbee,
Yeah.
that terminal end of the frisbee.
Do you think that position will put me in a weird place for being more in front of her? Because when I was...
At first, it'll keep you kind of in front of her.
Yeah, that's kind of what I have been...
Yeah.
I think when I was even targeting with just my hand and she was targeting my hand, I was really trying to get further back on the jaw.
Yeah.
But that was then making it so my hand was closer
Right.
than the frisbee.
Right. So this is gonna make it so she's not as pulled up, but then you can shorten. You don't have to hold the stick at the end. You can shorten it as much as you want.
Yeah.
And you can also just take the frisbee off.
Got it.
Well, once she's comfortable about following it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really how to get her so she can walk by you with you on the left side and you on the right side. But when you change over, it's like you're training the behavior from the start again.
Yeah.
So that's just how it is. Okay, good. Okay, so on the 8th of May, I've got task 20 or session 24, but you said we also did 25 and 26?
Yep.
Okay, that was 8. And okay, on the 25, could she touch the guide ball or the frisbee?
Yes.
Could she move to touch the frisbee?
Yes.
Could she circle the preferred direction?
Nope.
No. Okay. On the 26th, could she touch the guide ball?
Yep.
Move to touch?
Yep.
Circle in the preferred direction?
No, but I do think we should add the caveat that was requiring her to move between us, which potentially was the problem.
Yeah. So
opposed to
I
the
think
actual behavior.
yeah, I think that's the main thing.
Yep.
But let's get these caught up real quick, and then we'll go back to what that was.
Okay.
So then the time spent on 25,
25 was 13 minutes.
13, and 26,
20 minutes.
20 minutes. And now you've got a 27.
Yep.
And that's on the 9th.
Yes.
Okay. Touch guider ball.
Yes.
Move to touch.
Yes.
Circle preferred direction.
Yes.
Circle less preferred direction.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, but not maintain contact for the countdown.
No.
Okay, what's the time on that?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay, so how did you get from not being able to circle to circling?
So, I think in task 26, she was doing awesome following the guider stick, but we realized that it wasn't so much that she didn't want to circle, it was that you were outside the round pen filming, and I was inside trying to get her to circle, and she would stick right in the place where it would require her to move between the two of us. And so we kind of backed out of the actual tasks, and at that point, we had 2 trainers in the pen, and we were handing off the guider stick between us, one on each side, and just asking her to target in between us, but not necessarily requiring her to move all the way through. We were moving in that direction, but we're not requiring that behavior.
So this is really a lot like what we did in task 3, the extra remediation that we did in task 3.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a similar thing of her wanting to keep both people in front of her in her view. Yeah, and I think when we first started the first session where we did that, neither of us were able to get her to move past the other person all the way. But I do think that we were able to get her further, or get ourselves further behind her on both sides.
Yeah, I totally agree. I felt like in that first session, she got to where she could get her jaw even with us. Not up to her neck. She couldn't quite do that where her head would be in front of us, but she was getting her jaw fully where we were even with it, and we were feeding her a little bit in front of us. So she was sticking her nose out there. She didn't want to walk out there, but she would stick her nose out there. And so I felt like that was more than we had gotten out of task 3.
Yep.
Oh, that was a very drastic movement.
That was totally.
Are you ready? Deep. You ready? That's my hand. Whoops. You get my target? Whoops. Whoops. You get my target? You missed it. Can you get my target? That's my hand. Can you get my target? Deep. Deep. My hand. My target. Oopsies. Get my target. Get my target? It's right there. Get my target?
So remember the goal ultimately is to get her to go in a circle around you.
Okay.
So
Can you get my target? Eat. I'm gonna switch sides. Can you switch sides? Can you get my target? Oops. Get my target? Eat.
So part of the problem is that you don't take it away and then present it every time.
Okay.
You leave it and then you don't present it. So that present it now and see what the difference is. Deep. So take it away and present it every time.
Ready?
And you can always take it away again if she doesn't do it. Now she got a little frustrated there. That's okay.
You ready? Deep. That was a two-biter. You want two bites? Are you ready? Deep. You ready? Deep. You ready? Deep. Are you ready? Deep. Right, I'm gonna move it a little bit. You ready?
So what's the closest thing to her?
She puts it be there. Ready? Deep. Ready? Deep. Are you ready? Where are you going? You coming back? Deep. That was good. That was a good one. Ready? Here. sides, okay?
So you remember that girl in the, or that lady in the Bob Bailey video that was having the horse's target walking?
Yeah.
That's kind of what you want. You want the horse to follow the target.
Okay. I thought I was supposed to be keeping myself
Well,
moving.
well, you can move, but the thing is just get the horse walking. But yeah, walking to the right and walking to the left.
Are you ready? Eat. Are you ready? Eat.
So now try holding the target up and walking in front of her a little bit so that she follows the target. I mean, that's what I was doing with the horse when we were circling.
Yeah. I thought I was supposed to put it down every time.
Yeah, you do.
Ready?
You do
I got
put
it.
it down, but then you present it like that and reward her for walking with it.
Eat. You ready?
Okay, now let her catch it.
Eat. You ready?
I think she's actually done for right now.
But then this morning on session 27, it was a
Total breakthrough.
total breakthrough.
Yeah. And on the 27th session, we were both in doing the target stick. And I think the thing that really kind of gave her the opportunity for the breakthrough was you suggested that we bring her forward, and then she's actually almost past the other person by the time she gets forward. And then instead of keeping the forward momentum to turn her, actually stepping back and making the target really, really easy for her to get if she just pivots on her front legs a little bit.
Right. And that was an interesting thing because it was easy for her to step forward, step forward, step forward. And because we were separated enough, she didn't feel threatened, but I just got her to step past where you were. She still was kind of between you and me. And then I took a step back towards her hip and offered her the target around. And I think if she would have stopped and really thought about it, she would have freaked out.
Yeah.
But she saw that target and it was within pretty easy
It was
reaching
so
ditch.
close.
And the fact that I was back by her hip,
Yeah.
I mean, I was very aware that I was in a place that she had never let a human being be. So, so then she just was able to just pivot a little bit and then walk forward again. And it didn't require her to really turn. It just required her to go forward, pivot, and then go forward again.
Yeah.
And then when you tried it again, or when you tried that maneuver, you did it correctly the first time, but I wasn't far enough away.
Oh, yeah.
That was a mistake.
Yeah.
I needed to get clear with my back against the wall on the other side so that I wasn't a real issue. And then you were able to just guide her forward till she was past me, and then you stepped back towards her hip.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was a huge breakthrough, and then you were able to get her to circle, and you're back by her shoulder when you're circling her.
Yeah. Yeah, and she was able to pretty quickly after that moment do 3 continuous circles following the grinder stick on each side.
Yeah.
I was very precise in where I decided I was starting and ending the circle. Like I was giving her a little bit of momentum before she hit the point where she had to cross through us, and then making sure that it ended where, she wasn't right at that point. So
Yeah.
that was, very thought through
Yeah.
of how to make this as easy as possible.
Yeah, where the stopping points are, because you start getting that rotation. Okay, I can go 45 degrees. Where's the best point going to be to stop?
Yeah.
Before I try to get her into a scary place.
Yeah, and not making her stop in the scary place.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would really good.
Yep.
I think it would be good to, if you wanted to go back and finish task 3 now, because
Yeah.
I think she could do it.
Mhm. Oh yeah, for sure. We should definitely do that.
But you may want to do that into the 6, and you may not want to do it into 6. You got to decide. So let's talk about 6 for a minute. Okay, so 6 is targeting body parts, and we did a little tiny thing towards 6 because we wanted to treat that sore on her nose. So we did a little bit of the push, which is the second part of the 6. But so you're going to be teaching her to put her body into contact with your hand, not reach for her and you do it. Okay, so that's that cheating thing that you want to help the horse, but it doesn't help the horse to help the horse. So let the horse figure it out. They're usually most comfortable first with the face, so they've got face.
And face is what we've already kind of done.
When you're still near the front of them, they can do face, they can do star, face, star, they can do eyes. Where you're going to touch them on the eyes is in the corner of the eye.
Oh.
Okay, this is eye. Because what you're going to be doing pretty soon when these stupid cottonwoods put out all the cotton is you're going to be wiping their eyes all the time.
Got it.
Okay, so the corner of the eye is the eye, and that also feels really good to them.
Okay.
Okay, so if you can just get a little bit of rubbing in there, then they're like, that feels kind of nice. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so once you get the face ones, then what you're going to do is you're going to do probably face is going to be your best thing. And then, but you're not going to say face, you're just going to put your hand out and kind of try to be pointing towards the jaw. But it's usually best with a scared horse like that to be kind of a little bit in front of them.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't have to be on the side
and
to do this.
And is H my jaw? Is that essentially what I'm going for?
Yeah, H is a jaw right there on Spirit. And so what you want to do, let me demonstrate it on Spirit, is you're going to put your hand here, and you're going to wait to feel any slippage towards that direction, and you're going to bridge and shape that movement.
Got it.
Okay, and then ultimately you're going to get this. Then you're just going to be able to go jaw. Okay, when you get to the same on this side, okay, so let me do this side. And then when you get to the jaw, you're going to say neck, and you're going to do the same thing where you just shape it. And at first you're not going to actually touch the neck. You're just going to get the horse to moving in that direction. After about 4 places, the horse figures out where I need to touch whatever they're pointing at. And then that kind of works. On the ears, you're just going to do the star. You're going to touch the star, but then you're going to shape that downward head movement to put contact with the ears.
Got it.
But you've really got to, we are primates and we want to grab them.
Yeah.
We want to reach. You have to not do it.
So when I want to do jaw, I'm going to start on the face. do I point to face and have her put her face into
Because she's already respondently conditioned for you to touch her face.
Yeah.
First you're going to teach the difference between face and star, face and star, face and star. You're not going to say face when you do it the next time. You're just going to put your hand over there.
Yeah.
And you're going to wait for any movement. And then you're going to capture that movement, and then you're going to shape it into touching the jaw.
Got it.
Because if you just tried to touch the jaw, it would never happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I'm shaping, how do I then add the cue of pointing, or the signal of pointing to that piece? Like, seems like if I want to touch her star, she's always going to be.
So at first you're capturing the movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
At first you're capturing the movement. Then when you've got the movement to the location, you're going to be capturing the location.
Okay.
Okay. Then you can just hold your hand out a little bit, and they're going to be searching for it.
Okay.
They're going to be searching for it. So after a couple of them, they just are like, oh, this is where you point at the body part and I touch you with it. And if you've got a domestic horse that's not afraid, they can learn like 20 body parts in 20 minutes.
Wow.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably don't need to think past the jaw for this section.
I would say be ready for anything.
Okay.
Okay. So be ready for anything. But you're going to probably in the first session, you're going to do stuff that's on that end of the horse.
Okay. Maybe we should talk about chest, shoulder, and withers in our next session. I don't know. Like, do you shape into those, or do you just ask for those?
Well, at that point, you've got the neck, right?
Yeah.
You've got the neck, and so you can shape into it, or you can just ask for either one. But the best thing, if your horse doesn't mind being touched, the very best way to teach one of the things is to touch the body part, say the name of the body part, touch it, feed. Say the name, touch it, feed. Say the name, touch it, feed. Do that 3 times. Then say the name, and then get your fingers like 1 centimeter away from touching.
Yeah.
And then the horse will start searching for that with the body part. That's the easiest way. But you can't do that with a horse that's not going to let you touch it.
Yeah.
So you want to really get that touch. And the neck, once you get the neck, then it kind of gets a lot easier. So, because then they're like, oh, this isn't so bad.
Yeah. In the last task, when she was doing so great, I had to stop myself from the urge of just wanting to reach out and give her. Yeah, give her a little pet on her. Like, what a good girl.
Good girl. Let me scratch all that crappy hair off of you. Yeah. Yep. Okay, well, I think we got a plan.